Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Guruve Namaha. Acharyam Vijaniya Navamanyeta Karhichit Namartya Buddhya Suyeta Sarvadeva Mayo Guru. He Akaran Karuna Patita Pavan Shri Krishna, तुमसे विमुख होने के कारण अनादिकाल से हमने अनंत अनंत दुख पाए एवं पा रहे हैं। पाप करते करते अंतःकरण इतना मलिन हो चुका है कि रसिकों द्वारा यह जान भी कि तुम अपनी वात्सल्यमयी दृष्टि से हमारी प्रतीक्षा कर रहे हैं, तुम्हारे शरण में नहीं आ पाता। O my divine beloved, causelessly merciful Sri Krishna, having ignored you since time immemorial, I have been suffering, committing sins lifetime after lifetime, have made my mind so impure that in spite of having learnt from your saints that you are waiting for me with arms outstretched to embrace me, with a divine life to grace me, still I fail to surrender to you completely. Hey Sharan Sharan, तुम्हारी कृपा के बिना तुम्हें कोई जान भी तो नहीं सकता। ऐसी स्थिति में हे अकारण करुणा पतित पावन श्री कृष्ण, तुम अपने अहित की कृपा से ही हमको अपना लो। O shelter of the shelterless, it is absolutely impossible to know you without your grace. In such a situation, O causelessly merciful Sri Krishna, O Redeemer of sinful souls, make me yours with a glance of your causeless grace. He Akaran Karuna, हे करुणा सागर, हम भुक्ति मुक्ति आदि कुछ नहीं मांगते, हमें तो केवल तुम्हारे निष्काम प्रेम के ही एक मात्र चाहे। हे नाथ, अपने विरत की ओर देखकर इस अदम को निराश ना करो। O ocean of mercy, I have no desire for earthly or heavenly pleasures, nor do I seek liberation. My only desire is to love you and serve you selflessly. O my Lord, keeping your reputation in mind, please don't look at my reputation. Keeping your reputation in mind, do not disappoint this sinful fallen soul. हे जीवन धन, अब बहुत हो चुका है कि अब तो तुम्हारे प्रेम के बिना यह जीवन मृत्यु से भी अधिक भयानक है। O treasure of my life, I have suffered enough. Now I've come to realize that life without your love is more frightening than death itself. Therefore, I beg of you, Prem Bhiksham Dehi, Prem Bhiksham Dehi, Prem Bhiksham Dehi. Please give me the grace of your love. Please give me the grace of your love. Please give me the grace of your love. Boliye Sakata Bihari Shri Raghavendra Sarkar Ki Jai. Boliye Vrindavan Bihari Shri Yadavendra Sarkar Ki Jai. Boliye Srimad Satguru Sarkar Ki Jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. The scriptures, the Vedas, are beginningless. Sanatan Dharma is beginningless like God is beginningless. This Sanatan Dharma, this original beginningless religion is all over the universe. The same Sanatan Dharma, the same Vedas, this same knowledge of Sri Krishna is what is shared by all the galaxies, all the Brahmas, Vishnus and Shivas, of which there are countless galaxies. Science have now understood. After many centuries, we thought only the Milky Way galaxy existed. However, through science and the Hubble telescope and these, we have now seen that there are billions of such galaxies. And our Vedic history, which is thousands of years written, have already said those things that science is now recognizing. That yes, there are billions of galaxies. Each galaxy has a Brahma, a Vishnu, and a Shiva. So these Vedas are beginningless like God. And it was 5,000 years ago compiled by Ved Vyas, a descension of the Lord, and written by Lord Ganesh, one of the controllers of material nature, mandated in his position by the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. When Ved Vyas approached Ganesh Ji to assist him in the writing of the Vedas, Sri Ganesh said, look, I have one condition, that you must not stop speaking while I'm writing. Now Ganesh Ji is already in a state of God. He does not need any human need. He is not limited by the human condition. While Ved Vyas is in the human form, therefore he has human needs and is limited by his human body. So he thought, what am I getting myself into here? Anyhow, he agreed, but said, I too have one condition, that you should not write anything that you don't completely understand. So Veda Vyas very cleverly made 8,000 Kut verses. Kut means enigmatic, very difficult to understand, and said to Ganesh, you must not write anything until you clearly understand what I am saying to you. So the Vedas comprise of 400,000 verses. These 8,000 verses that are very difficult to understand were inserted in various places whenever Ved Vyas needed to attend to some humanly need. These verses, 400,000, is what comprises the history of all the Vedic knowledge. It's called 18 Puranas. The 17th Purana is comprised of 100,000 verses, which is called the Mahabharata. 700 verses of the Mahabharata is the Bhagavad Gita, spoken by Sri Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which was retrieved from the Mahabharata by Adi JagadGuru Sri Sankaracharya and made into the 109 Upanishad. The final Purana, the 18th Purana, is the Srimad Bhagavatam, which describes the love and pastimes of God and the means of attaining love for God and the result of attaining love for God and God's association, which is the supreme attainment. any living entity can have. Now, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu condensed all of the Vedic knowledge into 8 verses called the Shiksha Ashtak. Shiksha means teachings, Ashtak means 8 verses. Mahaprabhu put everything that you need to know, from what to do, what will be your experience, and what will be the result of what you have done in the practice of loving God. So he says, Na danam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mam janmani janmaneshwari bhavatad bhakti rahai tuki tvai. O creator and maintainer of this universe, my beloved Lord Sri Krishna, I want only you. I do not want wealth or luxuries. I do not want relationships of this body. I do not want followers. I do not want to be famous in any way. I do not want beautiful things and beautiful women for enjoyment. I do not want to be a scholar or a poet. All I want is to life after life love you and serve you. Look, he's even given up the desire for liberation. All I want is to love you and serve you life after life. That's all I want. That each life I come, I must always remember you, love you, and serve you without any selfish desire. So this is called the practice of detachment and the correct way to aspire in getting to know God. You have one mind. And you can't love the world and love God at the same time. Whoever loves the world, what does the world mean? Mother, father, brother, sister, daughter, son, all relationships of this body which are temporary, your money, your business, your car, your house, this is the world. Whoever loves the world, the love of the Father cannot be in him. Because you have one mind. You can't serve 2 masters. You have one mind. Life after life, we have wasted our life by trying to love the group of family members in each life, of which you don't know where they are right now. Again, you come back and are doing the same drama of getting attached to a new group that you consider my own. Fake relationships, and you're ignoring your true relationship because you are an eternal soul and your Father, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, is your eternal Father and Mother. Radha and Krishna are your true parents. You're a soul, you're not this body. You need to stop being attached to your fake relationships. Suddenly you die and then it all goes to zero. None of them will go with you. So, detachment must be a decision made by your intellect after recognizing who is your real relationship, your sambandh, your eternal relationship. Remember, you are an eternal soul and you should think of your future. So that's the right aspiration. By the practice, you begin with detachment. I don't want wealth and luxuries. I don't want these sources of pride that keeps me attached. Ainanda tanuchkin karam patita mam vishami bhavam budhau kripai tava para pankaj tita duli shararisham vichitayaha. O my beloved son of Nanda, Sri Krishna, I find myself in this human form, in this material experience, this material realm, which is like a quagmire, a perilous place. And I've become a slave of ego. I'm running after wealth and luxuries. I'm running after beautiful things and beautiful women. I like to feel that I have lots of followers. I want to be known as a scholar and a poet and well-educated. I always want to prove I am right and everyone is wrong. I've become a slave of ego. I always compete with the Joneses. I always want to do better than he. And it all comes to naught when you leave this body. I'm such a fool. My ego have me blind. There's nothing more blinding than ego. You can't see the truth. Even if you're an educated person, ego makes you blind. And I've become a prisoner of desires. From one desire to the next, I keep wishing for this and that. I've become a prisoner of desires and a slave of ego. In this condition, I'm very weak, my beloved Lord. But you're all powerful. I'm just a speck of dust under your lotus feet. The soul is 1/10,000 the tip, the diameter of one of your hair. 1/10,000 the diameter of one of your hair on your head. It is so tiny and insignificant, but it is eternal. It is inexhaustible. And it is a child of the divine Lord Radha and Krishna. So know who you're related to, your real relationship. And understand your pitiable condition. This verse describes your pitiable condition. As long as you're in this material body, there is birth, disease, old age, death. As long as you're in this material body, there's suffering caused by your body. Worse than that is the suffering caused by lust, greed, anger, hate, malice, spite, greed, anger, selfishness. Worse than the suffering of your body is the suffering of your mind. And then suffering caused by others who are in the same predicament. And suffering caused by supernatural sources. Suffering caused by the fact that you have limited senses. Imperfect senses. You can only see so far. So small. You have a tendency to make mistakes. You suffer from illusions, delusions. And I also suffer with a cheating propensity. We all have a cheating propensity. Before God realization, everyone have a natural cheating propensity. We lie casually as if it's normal, as if lying is the truth. That's how we have become. We have become expert at deception. So, looking at all these conditions, I can see this world is a quagmire, a perilous place. So, this is recognition of our condition. And now the Lord will give us, in this verse, the means of freeing ourselves. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatarpita niyamitaha smaranena kalaha itadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mama api durdaiv midrishaha mihajani nanuragaha. My Lord, I know you have invested all your powers in your name. Your name and you are non-different. When an individual soul truly realizes that God and His names are one and the same, with equal potencies and attributes, at that very moment, he will attain God. Write this in gold letters. God is so merciful. He says, my dear ones, I am present everywhere, but you have no knowledge of this. I reside in my divine abode, Golo, where you cannot come. I dwell in your heart, but you are unaware of it. Therefore, I seat myself in my names. I am embodied, seated in my names. If someone accepts this completely, when he says even one name of God, when he says Radhe, even once, he will be unable. The song will be stopped. He will become choked up. The mind will become immersed. The throat will only stammer. Then, what is the delay in attaining God? What is the delay in receiving the grace of the Guru? Only have firm faith in this message. Sri Kripaluji Maharaj. So, when you recognize that God is seated in His name, and God and His name are none different, and He has made no hard and fast rules to remember Him and chant His holy names. No qualification, anyone and everywhere and every time, you can do it. This is His great mercy. My problem is because of fault finding, durdaiv, namaparad, fault finding of even great souls and even the devas. I criticize others. This habit of criticism has set up a block in my heart that I have no taste of remembering God and for the chanting of His holy names. So how do we acquire a taste for chanting the names of God? You see, this habit of fault finding is a serious thing. Ho aisa ho patita jo patita na apahiman aise patita vichitra ko pavana karu tava jan. Fault finding in others, seeing the fault of others and neglecting to see your own faults, sets up in your mind this kind of mentality. You become such a sinner. I have become such a sinner that I do not even consider myself a sinner. And speaking to the Guru, the disciple is pleading, my Lord, your greatness will be proven to me when you succeed in purifying my sinful heart. I know you are the protector of humble souls, and I am pride incarnated. My Lord, bestow grace upon me and make me humble, so that I may become deserving of your grace. One need to, again and again, reflect, go into deep observation of his lifelong habit of committing sins. From since you're a child to now, look back with deep reflection and observation of all the sinful acts of just this one life. Forget the countless lives of sinning. Just look at this one life, and that will make you humble. Trinara pisanichana taragura pisanusana amanina manalida kirtanyaha sadaha harihi. If one recognizes that he's a great sinner, it will make you humble. Then you will feel like a blade of grass, foliage. Then you will understand what it is like to be loving and forgiving and patient like a tree. Willing to give respect to all others without the expectation of respect in return. In such a mental disposition, in such a state of mind, one can remember the Lord and chant His holy names always. Then what will happen in this humble state? You will get the grace of God. God's grace, God gives grace to the humble and He resists the proud. So the foundation of your devotional practice is becoming humble. You become humble by seeing your faults and stop seeing the faults of others. Then what will happen? Nayanam galada shuddharya badanam gadgadgudaya gira pulkair vicham vapuhu kadatavanam grahahe bhavishyati. Then you will develop a yearning for God alone. You will proclaim that, oh Lord, when will tears flow from my eyes like torrents of rain? When will there be a trembling in my body and in my heart when I remember your glorious pastimes? When will my voice choke up when I try to call your names? When will these ecstasies of divine love for God be my experience? When will that happen? When you're completely surrendered, accepting good and bad with equal feeling. Ashlishava parartampinashtuma yata tata karoto va ashlisha va padartampinashtuma adarshana marmahatam karoto va yata tata va yata tato va virato lampato matpran na tashtu saeva na paraha. My Lord, I know I belong to you, but more important is the awareness that you are mine. Only what is mine I take care of. So more important to me is that you are mine. My Lord, knowing that you are mine, if you embrace me with love and affection, that's very kind of you. Thank you. If you ignore me and don't show yourself to me, I will wait. I've been waiting for countless lives. If you crush me underfoot, it's well with me. I will not complain. I will accept everything, good or bad, I experience in life as your grace. And my Lord, with this kind of surrender, I know that my love and my affinity for you will keep on increasing. So my dear aspiring souls, understand that God is not easily attained if one loves the world and is at the same time trying to love God. Because we have one mind. You have to make a decision. This decision was not made for countless lives. That's why we're still here. I will ask you to consider this seriously. If you want to end samsara, which means transmigration into birth and death, disease and old age, then you have to make a decision to love God with a single-minded effort. You have to practice in this way, as Sri Krishna says. Abhyasena to kuntiya vairagena cha griyate. Giving up the attachment of the world, the relationships and the desires of the world, and start desiring God. Your mind will run back to the world. Again, take it back to God. And this practice must go on again and again. If you do it 100 times and you're successful twice, the next time you'll be successful 5 times, then 50 times. Then it becomes easier and easier to attach the mind to the Lord and to become detached from the world. Practice, practice, practice. Jai Shri Radhe.
मैं नाचूंगी कालिंदी तट पे।